Hi, this is Botanic, and welcome to the Making of Peragona. Today we will be talking about how movement decisions can affect your game. First, we will talk about our decisions and how vertical movement modes affect gameplay, and why we chose the modes we did. After that, we will show you how we implemented these modes in Unreal Engine 4. There are a number of typical movement modes. As we are building a side-scroller, we will talk about the modes common to that format. The main movement modes that we discussed are double jumping, flight, changing direction in the middle of a jump, climbing ledges, wall sliding, and dashing. First is the double jump. Double jump adds some interesting benefits to a lot of games. This mode allows developers to build hard jumps that require a high level of precision while also allowing for a larger margin of error on easier jumps. We found that double jumping could increase the speed of gameplay when used in a combat environment, as well as allow level designers to build more interesting levels with secrets and other items that are not required to complete the game, but can be obtained by someone with an appropriate level of skill. As we found this increased the speed of the gameplay, this is something we decided we wanted in our game, and the other benefits became gravy. Second is flight, as well as its little cousin glide. This mode of movement is present in games such as Child of Light. Flight allows for the user to have complete control over their vertical movement. While this can allow for some interesting gameplay, we didn't find that it fit in with our vision, as it removed a fair amount of the skill component from platforming, as well as gliding slowed down the gameplay, which is not what we were looking for. The third item is changing direction in the middle of a jump. A lot of games allow you to change your jump in the air. We felt that this gave for some margin of error, as well as helped prevent frustration of the player and is more forgiving for split-second timing. Also, it allowed for the level designers to design levels where you can have drops and have the player move in the middle of their drop to avoid traps, etc., which is something we definitely wanted in our game. The next item is climbing ledges. We had a long discussion about this one, and we originally were going to implement it. In a lot of games we have played, we have seen that there is that one ledge that you end up sitting there yelling at the screen because it is 1 pixel above how tall you can jump. However, as a standard course of gameplay, we found that grabbing onto a ledge and pulling yourself up broke the pace and made for a few seconds of not moving, which didn't fit in with the style of game that we wanted. Moving on to wall sliding. Since we decided not to have climbing, we wanted to give players a way to avoid that just grab the ledge feeling. Wall sliding is an interesting form of movement as it allows for unlimited vertical movement, similar to flight, however that is only so long as there is a wall to jump up, which we found to be more engaging than jumping, pressing the climb button, and watching the climb animation. This also adds an additional skill component, as better players will be able to ascend walls faster, while newer players will not be able to perform it as effectively. Dashing we found didn't really fit Peragona, as you pick a direction, press a button, and hope you weren't off by 1 pixel. This hope feeling is similar to the reason that we decided to implement double jump. While dashing can add a level of skill and speed up gameplay, it does a lot of times create button mashing, which is something we wanted to avoid. This concludes the first part of this series on movement. One thing I want to stress is that none of these types of movement are right or wrong. They each add an element to gameplay and changes the way the game works, and each one can drastically change the way you build levels and other items in your game. Also, for all you developers out there, our experience is that it's quite important to make these decisions at the beginning of your development, as even a slight change to your jump height can drastically change the way you build and play through your levels and cause you to have a level that doesn't fit or requires you to rework entire parts of your game. Thank you everyone, and make some games.